What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and it's been a while since I talked about Cyberpunk 2077. I'm not sure even what your appetite is for news on the game, but as somebody who's still holding out hope, I still see these various rollouts and patches as very positive things. On top of that, there was a massive leak that would purport to have not only 10 new DLCs, free DLCs, but as well as 3 paid ones, which is not exactly great to see right now, given that I'll talk to you about paid DLC when I consider the game to be completed. Now, many people have fought in my comment sections about how they played the game and it was totally fine for them and they didn't have an error, and what was everyone complaining about? Look, I'm super happy for you. For me, I have a high-end gaming PC. I could have probably played it through the first time, and it probably would have been very few bugs as well. My biggest concern was in the way that the AI was working and the way that it appeared that large sections of content from the game had been promised and not delivered. And I just didn't want my first playthrough to be marred by that. You know, I have a huge gaming backlog. In fact, I just traveled out of state and I brought my Nintendo Switch with me in hopes of finally finishing Breath of the Wild, and I didn't turn it on once. But there are patches coming for Cyberpunk 2077, and I'm happy. I probably will fire up this game, in fall of 2021. This saying Cyberpunk 2077 patch 1.2 is coming with hundreds of fixes. CD Projekt Red's next major update is, major. The next major patch for Cyberpunk 2077 is coming soon. As previously announced by CDPR, patch 1.2 will address the game's unusually fast police response and offer some much needed options to driving vehicles and getting them unstuck in the environment. According to CDPR's extensive patch notes, the update will also fix visually amusing bugs like NPCs moving after they've been dispatched and V's incorrect position while riding a motorcycle. The update will also address numerous crashes. CDPR said the update will address all platforms, but many crash-related fixes make a bigger difference on the last generation console and lower performance machines. This is great to hear. Millions of people still have PlayStation 4s and still want to play this game. I hope that they're telling the truth about this. Cyberpunk's second major patch, part of CDPR's long-term plan to polish its highly anticipated but botched release, does not have a release date, but it's expected much earlier, but was delayed due to a hack at the time. The first major patch 1.1 was released in January. Well, I would expect this to get released, in the next couple of days. And you have just a myriad. Look at all these fixes. This is great. Now, the pessimist in me says, man alive, sure would be nice if, this table stake stuff was fixed originally in the open world, in the game's release. But it makes me feel more and more confident about when I return to the game. Like, I'm going to be able to, play a much better version of the game than I would have several months ago, and I'm happy about it. But now, there's more interestingly, some more information out here saying that there is a major leak that is showing up to 10 DLCs, 3 of which being paid. This breaking over the weekend. A total of 10 DLCs have been discovered on Cyberpunk 2077's Epic Games Store page. The naming of the DLC suggests that Cyberpunk 2077 could be getting a lot of missing features like barbershops and more cyberware options. Redditor Prickly Assassin claims that he managed to find hidden Cyberpunk 2077 DLC on Epic Games Store. He explains that back in February 2021, Epic Games Store changed the total allocated server capacity from Cyberpunk 2077 from 100 gigs to 500 gigs, which is something usually done months before the release of new updates and content. Now, I am really happy to see that, this DLC should have all been part of the original game. I hear you. I really do. But also, as somebody who's trying to advocate for people that still want this game to be great, I'm happy for it. I hope that makes sense. I don't want to play both sides here, but look, I bought the game and I want it to be good. Is it good now? No. Is it playable? Yes. I'm not going to argue that it's not playable, but for many people, it's not. Sure, I've heard the stories about your perfect PS4 that didn't have any problems playing the game, but many did. Now, for the interesting stuff, the Redditor also found information about these upcoming DLCs back in February. There were 18 DLCs listed on Epic Game Store, but some of them were removed from the earlier this week, reducing that number to 10 DLCs. 3 paid DLCs have also been added. Here are the frees: Ripper Docks expansion, Body Shops expansion, Fashion Forward expansion, Body Chrome, Rides of the Dark Future, Gangs of Night City, The Relic, Neck Deep, and Night City expansion. Now, I don't know which ones are the paid ones. It doesn't seem to, it says here, interestingly, the leaker states that 2 of the DLCs have similar names to 2 of the Cyberpunk 2077 pre-launch promo videos, which suggests the content was originally planned to be released as part of the base game. At the moment, CDPR are yet to officially announce Cyberpunk 2077 DLCs. The team is currently working hard on fixing the game. Well, yeah, I mean, I think you would want the actual game to be working extraordinarily well, I think, before you worry about DLCs. That's just my opinion. 2 of the free DLCs. Now, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know which. 3 paid DLCs were added this week. However, no details on names or exact prices are available yet. Look, I want Cyberpunk 2077 to be great. It's good now. And again, I'm glad I prolonged playing it. But you see here's all these expansions that they've had in the Epic Game Store. And they usually do this several months ahead of time. Now, we don't know for sure that these are paid. These could end up being $0 items. That's what I would say. Like, just because they don't say 0 doesn't mean they are for sure paid. But you see huge info. Preface. I originally found out about this information in February, but I didn't make most of the news fully public until now. Back in February, we talked about the site. I also found info on upcoming DLC. Back in February, there were 18 free DLCs listed on EGS. However, some of them were removed earlier this week, reduced to 10. 3 paid DLCs were added this week. However, no details on the names or exact prices are available yet. Now, we know that CD Projekt Red has had a lot of problems with hacking, obviously with the release of the game, but we know what their long-term plan is. Their long-term plan is and was, probably still continues to be, that they want this to be like a Grand Theft Auto 5 multiplayer cash printing juggernaut. And if you lose all of your players from the base game, it's really unlikely that you're going to get them back into the multiplayer world. So CD Projekt Red is really going to really have to work hard. I saw a lot of people I noticed Young Ya, who said the game was quote unquote breathtaking, lived up to the hype. He's getting shredded pretty bad by a lot of his own viewers. I still think this game can be amazing. I really do. But the fact of the matter is, even with these 10 DLCs, it still doesn't live up to my expectations unless they're absolutely huge. Now, is that necessarily CDPR's fault? No, I can't say that it's all their fault. What it is the fault of my own expectations being continually pushed with every new commercial, with every passing year of this game. What are these? Neck deep. What could that even be? Fashion forward expansion. So you're going to have clothes that appeals to 2% of the player base. All of this stuff really has to happen in addition to all of these expansions. You can see one comment asked me to show how I managed to obtain the information so they could validate themselves, for which I replied, a price, yes. Another comment pointed out the screenshots provided as proof are Photoshopped. The screenshots I posted are all I could provide at the time without sharing sensitive info. Also, I wouldn't go through the effort of Photoshopping because I'm bad at it. You see how I obtain the information. Epic uses AES keys to encrypt most of their servers. When the correct AES key has been found, the encryption lock has been bypassed. Some info that's supposed to be available to developers becomes visible in an early preview of the EGS storefront. For mods, this post was made to clear up any backlash. Please do not remove this. You see here, because the OP can't link to a previous post to abide by Rule 5, I'll provide a link. You see here, of course, the original post talking about it, which ended up getting removed. I feel like this is probably great news for people who are still holding out for Cyberpunk. Part of me thinks I should just play through it in its current state so then I could appreciate what its future state may be. But in a world of limited time and limited investment for me, available time, I don't think I want to commit to 2 playthroughs of Cyberpunk 2077 when I still haven't finished Breath of the Wild and a wide variety of other games that I've purchased that are still in their cellophane wrap. So for now, I'd say this is good news for Cyberpunk fans. 18 DLCs total might bring back some of what we think was removed from the game, and the fact that they're free, or at least, looking to be free, is the right move. I'm hoping that they release the second. Maybe I'll play after this patch, but I want to play the whole game. I want this game to take me 100 hours to beat. With patch 1.2, this isn't really adding any major content back. This is really just fixing a lot of the hilarity, which I'm pumped about. You see, they have different things, like weapons are getting nerfed or increased. You see all sorts of really, really, really nice upgrades here. I don't know. I'm on the fence. I think I'll still wait till we see some of these DLCs. If they unleash all 10 of these DLCs at once, I'll log in that day. But if they drip feed them over the entire summer, I'm going to wait until they're all done. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Is CD Projekt Red's reputation salvageable? Have you played through? Are you still waiting like I am? I'll be curious to hear all your comments in the comment section down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.